So next week, Samsung is set to announce the Galaxy S21 lineup. You're gonna get 3 brand new smartphones hitting the market. And I asked a bunch of you on my YouTube community post, which one would you buy? Now, most of you said none, and I get it, right? To buy a phone every single year is just bananas, and a lot of you already have new smartphones. But for the ones who are planning on buying it, 9% of you said the Galaxy S21 Ultra, 8% of you said the Galaxy S21, and 5% of you, the S21 Plus. Now this kind of surprised me because the S21 is rumored to come with a plastic back. But then I realized they did that with the Note 20, and even though the Note 20 just wasn't a great deal, the S21 might actually be a good one. You know, they have to come out with lower price points this year. It's rumored that the S21 is gonna be priced at 849 euros, so I'm guessing around 800 US, which would make sense, right? If the only difference is a plastic back, but you get the same features of the S21 Plus, then I kind of could live with a plastic fitting. Now the S21 Plus and the S21 Ultra are gonna be your typical aluminum and glass frame. But here's the other interesting thing. Right now, Samsung is offering up to $50 in accessories. Like if you click on the link in the description down below and you reserve a Galaxy S21, you're gonna get 50 bucks off accessories. Now, why are they doing this? Well, it's simple. They're doing exactly what Apple did. They're not gonna be including the charger in the box, and same with the headphones. The other cool thing is that the S21 and S21 Plus are gonna have flat displays. You know how this makes me happy? It makes me insanely happy. You know how I feel about curved displays? Curved displays create arthritis fingers. After 2 weeks of a curved display, this is what your fingers look like, okay? Like this, like eagle talons. And you can't release them. This is how you're gonna live the rest of your life. And then one day, you go to a party, right? You pick up a chip like this, and then you dip it. But you can't get your hand out of the bowl. And the girl in the corner, she's like, oh my God, Johnny, he's double dipping. But really, you're death dipping because you can't get your fingers out of the dip. This is not a fun way to live your life. So having a flat display will keep your fingers flexible. Now the S21 Ultra, on the other hand, is gonna have a curved display. So if you want the best, you're gonna have to live with these. Now in traditional Samsung format, you're gonna have 3 different sizes, 6.2 for the S21, 6.7 for the S21 Plus, and a 6.8-inch display for the S20 Ultra. All 3 devices are gonna be coming with dynamic AMOLED display. They all have insane screen brightness, I think around 1300 nits for the S21 and S21 Plus, with up to, I think, 1600 for the S21 Ultra. But here's the other kicker. You're no longer gonna have an option for QHD with the S21 and S21 Plus. You're gonna be stuck with Full HD Plus with 120 Hertz. Now, quite frankly, I thought about this, I got a little angry, but then I didn't because I realized I kept my S20 and S20 Ultra at Full HD Plus so I can utilize the 120 Hertz, which I think is what most people are going to be doing if they buy the S21. Now, the Ultra, you can bump up to QHD and use 120 Hertz. And that's expected considering this is like the premium phone from Samsung. The beauty is that it's gonna have a massive battery, like 5,000 milliamp hours. So this thing is just gonna be a beast. And even if you do decide to not buy the Ultra, the battery size in the S21 Plus is gonna be 4,800 and I think around 4,000 for the regular S21. Now, the one thing I really despised about the Galaxy S20 Ultra was the camera. You know, it had the better camera according to Samsung, but it failed when it came to highlights. Sometimes it would clip them, but more importantly, the autofocus was terrible. No matter how many updates Samsung pushed out, they could not perfect the autofocus. But the good news though is that the S21 Ultra is changing that. It's gonna use the exact same laser autofocus that the Note 20 Ultra is using today. Now, if you want more lenses, you gotta go with the Ultra. It's gonna have 4 lenses compared to 3, which is what the S21 and S21 Plus have. You'll get your 12 megapixel ultra wide, 108 megapixel wide lens, 10 megapixel telescope lens up to 3 times, and then you'll get a 10 megapixel periscope lens up to 10 times. Of course, you'll still have that crazy space zoom capabilities that allows you to see into the future. It'll be a little bit clearer than the previous year due to AI, but don't expect anything crazy. Now, if you opt for the S21 or S21 Plus, the main difference is that you'll have a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens, 12 megapixel wide lens, and then you're gonna have a 64 megapixel telephoto lens, which can do up to 3 times zoom. Of course, you'll be able to do a 30 times space zoom if you wanna see further away. Now, I will say though, I do like the design they're going with this camera layout. It's much better to look at than the Note 20 Ultra or the previous S20. It kind of blends in to the phone, you know? It just makes it look very futuristic. And I think it's a good way to kind of take your eyes away from your standard camera bump. One thing's for sure though, the processor is gonna be a hot topic of discussion because we know that some regions are gonna get the Snapdragon 888 and others are gonna be stuck with the Exynos 2100. But here's the thing, the Exynos this year is supposed to be just as good as the Snapdragon 888. Storage is also gonna be different, you know? Like we're used to having micro SD card slots on our phones, but the S21 and S21 Plus are apparently not coming with micro SD card expansion. If you want that, you gotta buy the more expensive S21 Ultra. 8 gigabytes of RAM on the lower end models, and then you can go up to 12 gigabytes of RAM on the Ultra, and you can expand that storage all the way up to 512 gigabytes. So here's the crazy thing. For the first time ever, you're gonna be able to use a pen with the S21 Ultra. This is something they've never done before on the S lineup. And they're not gonna have a place for you to stick the pen inside like they do with the Note 20 lineup. But you can go out, or you can even use the pen that comes with the Tab lineup and use it with your Ultra. If you want to carry it with you, you have to buy some sort of case which the pen can reside in. So it's not going to be as integrated and seamless as the Note lineup, but it's there if you want to buy the optional accessory. Now I know there's a lot of rumors and talk about Samsung discontinuing the Note lineup, but it seems like they're not going to. This is just giving people the option to use a pen with their phone if they want to spend the extra money for one. And here's the other thing. We don't know what type of wireless charging these phones are gonna get. Some rumors are pointing to 25 watts on the S21 and S21 Plus, with 45 watts being present on the Ultra. Quite frankly, I think this is a minor detail. Like, as long as it has wireless charging and it charges fast enough, that's all that really matters. But the big question comes down to price. Like, this Ultra is gonna be expensive. It's potentially gonna be anywhere from $300 to $500 more than the regular Galaxy S21. Is the fact that you can use the S Pen, have a bigger battery, a slightly brighter display, a micro SD card slot, and potentially a better camera worth the extra money? Well, that's something we're gonna have to find out when I review these devices. And if you wanna see that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, if you're interested in reserving a Galaxy S21, there'll be a link in the description down below that will get you $50 worth of accessories now that you no longer get a charger in the box. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.